Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And again, my name is Tim Schwall, and along with Liz, we will be representing the negative side of today's debate. I would like to begin by acknowledging the affirmatives plan. They did a great job constructing their plan, but the fact of the matter is their plan is simply impractical and undesirable. The impracticalities lie predominantly in the economics. While they claim that the regulation and taxing of marijuana would create huge profits for our country, this just isn't true. Based on I've researched multiple taxing plans that have been developed for legalization of marijuana, and according to them, an average rate of tax would be around $50 per ounce. According to current law enforcement, the black market price, that is during illegal selling for marijuana per ounce, comes in at about $75 to $100 per. So if we were to take a lower price than the normal illegal price right now, that's assuming it goes down when it becomes legal, and so we go around $50. That's the straight price. Now we add another $50 in tax to that ounce of marijuana. We're looking at 100% markup with taxes on marijuana. Why would anyone want to pay double the price for it? If marijuana was even more easily available in a world where it was legal to own, what is stopping the same drug dealers we have today from selling it at a lower, more consumer-attractive price? Yes, the people that choose to buy it through the government would be creating a tax revenue, but I'm sure most of you sitting here today would rather take half the market value than a 100% markup. This is not even including the price drop we would see in black market marijuana if it was to become legal. As I said earlier, today's prices range between $75 and $100 per ounce. But this is due to the imposing risks on producers and sellers that come with marijuana being illegal. If this risk is eliminated due to legalization, we could see this black market price drop even more considerably, making untaxed marijuana much more appealing to the everyday customer, thus eliminating any benefits from regulating it. There is also a legal aspect of this plan that you need to look at, and that makes it very undesirable. Cannabis is classified under a Schedule I drug under the Federal Controlled Substance Act of 1970. This means that it is deemed to have a high potential for abuse and no legitimate medical uses. And the reason it's not, they mentioned it being not addicting or anything, the reason it's not considered a legitimate medical use is because it hasn't been accepted by the masses. Yes, a few states can accept it as medical marijuana, but until it is considered a legitimate medical use by the masses of the medical professionals in our country, it still doesn't have legitimate medical use. Back to the Controlled Substances Act of 1970, because it falls under Schedule I drug, the possession, usage, purchase, sale, and cultivation of marijuana is illegal. So even if the state of Pennsylvania was to legalize marijuana, it would still be illegal under the federal government. There's no getting around this fact. We can go ahead and legalize marijuana in our state, and it will still be illegal under federal law. Just like Liz said earlier, 10th Amendment says federal law overrides state law. Any action we take with it, whether it be buying, selling, or growing, is still breaking the federal law. If you don't believe me, look at California, as Liz said. California legalized marijuana for medicinal purposes. And even then, the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, is going into California, raiding their dispensaries, confiscating all their drugs, and leaving them with citations. Just think of what would happen in Pennsylvania if we were to legalize it for personal use. Now, I would like to introduce our counterplan. We propose not legalizing marijuana, but simply a modified decriminalization plan. Under our plan, marijuana possession, sale, and cultivation would still be illegal, but they would no longer be punishable by incarceration, and you would see no marks on your criminal record. The process would be similar to receiving a car ticket, where you presented a ticket with a fine ranging in size determined by the severity of the crime. For example, a simple possession might cost you about $100 in fines, but if you were caught possibly trying to distribute and selling marijuana, it could range from maybe like an $800 to $1,000 fine. We would also institute a 3-strike policy where if you were cited for marijuana-related crimes 3 times, you would be required to take part in a mandatory drug rehabilitation program. We propose this plan because we acknowledge that marijuana laws are costing our government many man-hours and a lot of money to enforce. but that does not mean we need to end the world on drugs. We just need to take a different approach. To summarize, because of its impractical economic deficiencies and undesirable legal issues, we have proposed a decriminalization plan for marijuana. This way, we can still keep the potential harm of drug users away from the people, but at the same time reduce the money spent on enforcing laws and possibly even increase the income by instituting monetary penalties. Thank you. Vote negative, please.